Welcome to They Must Be Destroyed on Sight. The language and conversations contained within this podcast are often not suitable for minors, nuns, people with heart conditions, the humorless, and the easily offended. Spoilers for the films discussed are often in abundance.
They must be destroyed on sight.
All right, we're live, and we're actually on air this time. Usually when we do these, behind the scenes here, if you are not familiar, we usually record these on YouTube and just strip the audio. And usually I keep these private or unlisted. I fucked that up.
Usually we're naked. But today, the clothes are on, people.
It's a good thing. The one time I fucked this up, we actually kept our clothes on. So anyone who actually ends up jumping in and watching by mistake are not going to get the peep show. But this is intermission number 20 of They Must Be Destroyed on Sight. I'm your host, Lee Russell. I'm joined by Paul Romali. How you doing, sir?
Hello, very good. For the YouTube Rep subscribers, you'll get full penis.
Yeah, there you go. And this is the first bonus episode for October. We plan on doing a couple little bonus things here and there, along with the regular episodes.
Yeah.
Just for your convenience. So this is going to be a little bit shorter than a regular episode, but we still have some interesting stuff to talk about. First thing I want to mention before we get into anything we've watched in the last little while, before we get to the actual movie we're going to be doing. A couple weeks ago on Gary Hill's Cinema Beef podcast, where we covered Blood Tracks and Cut and Run. That has finally been released on Cinema Beef, and I'll put the link down in the show notes when this is all finalized and edited. But I listened to the episode today, and it turned out really good.
Good. I saw it on the Facebook. Do they know we have a Facebook?
Yeah, if you were not aware, They Must Be Destroyed on Sight. On Facebook is the single best way to get in touch with us and discover what is going on with the podcast in any given time. If you would go on our They Must Be Destroyed on Sight Facebook page right now and join up as a member, you would see I linked my appearance on Cinema Beef on the page. So there you go.
No,
yeah, boom. Get that shit into you. But we can move on to anything we've watched in the last while. I have nothing really to mention. So, Paul, I will throw it right over to you, sir.
Well, I mean, we just had a great time talking about City of the Living Dead and the Beyond, and the main actress in both just had a birthday, so happy birthday. I'm glad you're still alive.
Katrina McCall?
Yeah. Yep, yeah, good for you. Glad you didn't die partway through the year. Happy birthday. Okay, we got, for me, I was watching Nightmare, of course, just one of my recent purchases, and then I was watching a couple episodes of Kojak the Night Stalker, which is actually a really, really good show. Some people don't know about it, but I actually really enjoy it. Just picked up the H.P. Lovecraft's Infinite Evil of the Lurking Fear.
Right
on DVD. So I think this is a full moon. Of course, it's a full moon direct release. Why wouldn't it be a full moon direct release? And but Jeffrey Combs is in this, so I'm really looking forward to it. I've seen it a long time ago. Probably same time I watched Castle Freak for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to give it a go. And I will, since I'm a big Lurking Fear fan now on the story side of it, I want to see how it compares. And I'll give you my synopsis later. I can't even spell synopsis, so I probably won't even do that. There you go.
Right on. Awesome.
You ungodly warlock.
This is a distress call from across time and space. I am Babs, the automated biological support system for the humanoid known as the Witch. Witch vs. the Doomsday Clock is the weekly chronicle of his fight for survival and entertainment on the junk heap of the future. Episodes are transmitted in 15-minute pulses across the dimensional divide weekly for your listening pleasure. As you will learn, the future is not set in stone, and a flux capacitor is a girl's best friend. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, TuneIn, and on your Android device. Come join the rest of the Meat Popsicles in our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Witch vs the Doomsday Clock. The replicant known as Witch can be found on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr and Instagram by searching for THEWYCH. The Witch vs the Doomsday Clock is a proud member of the Legion Podcast Network. Now in the words of Lord Humongous.
Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror.
Hello and welcome to Hello, This is the Doom Show. I'm Richard.
And I hate the burning.
Shh, who are you? Speak.
And I'm Brad.
She came in and said, "Buck, buck, buck," and he said, "Buck, buck," and she said, "Buck, buck, buck, buck." That's what I got.
One is the Suspiria boner, the other's the Inferno boner. Anyway.
Which one is crying? The boner of tears.
Hello, This is the Doomed Show is available on hellodoomedshow.podomatic.com and doomedmoviethon.com.
Hello, this is the Doom Show. Richard, Brad, Jeffrey, Naffa. It's the Doom Show. Hello, this is the Doom Show. Slashers, giallo, and horror.
Badasses, Boobs, and Body Counts is a weekly podcast that discusses grindhouse and exploitation cinema. Your three hosts, Mike.
It's a quick. Thank you. Come again.
Not racist at all. Mark.
If you bend over and you have what is essentially a pubic cottontail coming out the crack of your ass, you need to do some goddamn grooming.
And listener favorite, Iris.
Not have sex with that horse.
Will make you question your own political correctness while laughing at theirs. Episodes drop every Sunday and can be found by searching BB and BC podcasts via Libsyn, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and iHeartRadio. You can also listen to episodes directly from the show's website at badassesboobsandbodycounts.com.
Hello, I am A Diogento, and when I am not making a movies involving my daughter being naked and spotting her butt cheeks for my camera, I am listening to They Must Be Destroyed on Sight, a movie of a podcast. Scusi. Yeah, so I guess we can just jump right into the review here, and what we're going to be looking at is Nightmare from 1981, also known as Nightmares in a Damaged Brain, if you're in the UK. That was sort of the UK title.
Prepare yourself for the most intensely shocking motion picture of our time. Nightmare. The motion picture everyone is talking about.
Hello? Hello, Steve?
Who terrified you in Dawn of the Dead and Friday the 13th, special effects director Tom Savini. Now comes Nightmare.
Kathy? Kathy?
Terror will surround you. Survive the night. Nightmare. Scream, but no one can help you.
Listen to me, George. It's only a dream, and dreams can't hurt you. Are you there, George?
Daddy!
George, don't hang up!
Where do you go? When there's no place to hide. Escape. A lie. No one under 17 will be admitted. From 21st Century Distribution, coming soon.
It's just had its 35-year anniversary re-release. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, directed by Romano Scavolini and written by him as well. It was starring Barrett Stafford as George Tatum, Sharon Smith as Susan Temper, C.J. Cook as C.J. Temper, Mick Cribben as Bob Rawson, and Danny Rohan as Kathy the babysitter. This was... Well, I'll go to you first, Paul, before I get into my thoughts on this one. When was the first time you saw this, and what are your sort of initial thoughts on this?
Oh, this was a long time ago when the internet was first young and porn was still new. It was one of those kind of deals. It was... I got on and I just started searching stuff on the internet when I could actually realize that it wasn't just for pornography. You could find horror and pornography. It's one of those kind of, I was like, oh, okay, cool. So, and it was on one of these lists. Sadly, it wasn't a video list like you could see now, where you could just click on it, could watch all the movies. It was more of a check this one out, and they explained the deaths. It was one of those kind of deals. And, well, I'm not going to give away, I'm not going to say what the ending said because it'll give away the ending. I'm not doing that. Yeah, and it was on a classic list of woman gets killed, head exploded by basketball. It was on one of those classic lists of really weird deaths. So I was like, okay, let's do this. I got to check it out. The other one that I got a chance to actually watch recently again was The Slayers, which was on that list, and I don't actually own a copy of it yet, but it was full nippled woman gets pitchforks through tits. And I'm like, okay, that's good. And then you could see how fake her chest was, but they made sure those nipples stuck out longer than the pitchforks almost. It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think that just got a big time.
It got a Blu-ray release.
Yeah. I think it was Arrow maybe released that one, I think.
It was one of those things, one of those little nips in the buds that makes me go, should I get a Blu-ray? Should I? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm still hanging on, but...
I know. So am I.
Yeah, so this is a first-time watch for me. Actually, first time watching just today. I watched it this afternoon. First thing that struck me about this one is that it fits firmly in that sort of Maniac, don't go in the house kind of territory. Mm-hmm. It's very much, and I would argue this is way more vicious and just grimy than those two films.
Very grimy.
Yeah.
It has all the nuances to me when I watch this, and I've watched it a few times now. It has the nuances to me of the Color Me Blood Red vibe. Those things, the Wizard of Gore, those nuances from the 60s and early 70s. But it's made in 1981, same year I was born. But it doesn't look, to me, like it was shot in 19... You have to understand, American Werewolf in London and The Howling came out in 1981. The Thing came out a year later. I mean, things like that. It doesn't really... The only film that I could say horror-wise that meets the look of this film, and you could barely tell because I don't think they turned a light on in this film. It was called Scream from 1981.
Right.
Apparently all the lights blew out before they started shooting the film, and they must fix them afterwards. But that's one of the only films from 1981 that I can actually be like, okay, if you look at that, you can look at the quality of Scream, which are still good films, but I don't know, they're not exactly with the rest of the caliber from that era. It doesn't look like it's a cheaply made film either, though.
It just looks like there's not a good print out there anywhere.
Yeah, it looks very raw. I mean, as you said, raw and dirty.
Just for the listeners here, and I'm going to avoid like super big spoilers on this one because I think this is definitely one that's obscure enough where people should probably try to look for it if they're interested after listening to this podcast. But
I will make a spoiler.
Okay. All right. Well, Paul might ruin this episode, so we'll see. But I'll just give a quick little synopsis I pulled from IMDB here as well, just to give people an idea what this is like. Tobias Brojung provided this synopsis in IMDb. A mental patient who is troubled with horrible nightmares has escaped from his hospital. Actually, he was released from the hospital.
No, he was released, you fuck up.
This guy...
up, Tobias. Kill yourself.
Tobias fucked up, motherfucker. Now on the streets, he can't help killing innocent people, but there's one family he's more than interested in, and when he tries to kill them, he finds that it's not that easy.
They're not talking about my family.
No. But yeah, I kind of did enjoy this. I will say the way it's shot and everything, it's a little bit incoherent.
Very, very incoherent.
Yeah, it takes a while to actually sort of catch on to what the fuck is actually going on in this film.
Yeah, but the fifth or sixth watch.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I think some of the scenes are just like really well done, like the nightmare stuff that Tobias goes through. Or Tobias. No, I'm thinking of the fucking George Tatum.
Tobias Waitley from the Dunwich.
Yeah, yeah. No, the George character, the killer. I think he does a really good job acting in this, and the way they shoot his sort of switch over between remembering these traumas in his past and stuff, and the way it builds up. I think it's actually pretty well done. I think
and the liberal use of Pepto-Bismol, or not Pepto-Bismol, the plop plop fizz fizz. Oh, what a relief it is.
Yeah, the antacid or whatever, like fucking nobody foams at the mouth like that just because they're insane. Just newsflash.
Or having a seizure. I've seen people have seizures. They don't foam like that.
Yeah, or because they're horny as fuck as well.
Yeah,
I will say it's a pretty striking scene where he first gets released and he's out on the streets and he goes to a peep show, and this.
Oh, don't ruin my spoiler.
Oh, okay. Well, you ruin it then. You spoil.
Okay. Well, I'll just say the best part of the film ever is the girl with the gigantic, nicely bushy bush playing with her pussy with a vibrator, and you can actually see lips and everything. And she's talking to him about how she wishes he was in there, doing the whole teasy thing. That is the best part of the film. I'm telling you, the best part of the film. I could watch that over and over again.
It's pretty shocking for 81 too. You don't expect
that you can't. I'm glad you said that. You cannot find that in most films anymore. Like that is pretty like full lips, full clitoris and lips getting played with a toy, and it's like, whoa, is this happening? I remember the first time I watched it, so, like I was set back a little bit, going, "This is fantastic."
Yeah, and I mean, you can understand why this immediately went on the video nasties list. Like. I mean, and this is the most notorious film of the Video Nasties list because, and I have his name here too. This was banned, Video Nasties, and this distributor, David Hamilton Grant, he actually got thrown in jail for 6 months because he refused to cut the film by 60 seconds.
Wasn't it the English? It was England that hit it first.
Yeah.
That was the people that actually hit it first. Yeah, that causes the big yoo-hoo and woohoo, Yeah. Even though if you go to any street corner pub, you'll find like a fucking row of pornography magazines that show worse than that you can buy. Yeah. But, there you go. That's fine. Actually, I started watching this, and the thing is, this film, it starts like a roller coaster ride and then goes to a Sunday country drive for about 27 hours, and then films and then finishes back with a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, you get all this plotting family shit, and that kid, CJ.
Yeah, he's either the best or worst actor in the world.
He's almost as grating for me as Bob from House by the Cemetery.
He doesn't talk as much, but when he does talk, you just want to punch him.
Yeah, and you can tell right from the fucking get-go that kid's fucking warped. Like, you can just tell. I went into this blind, and I watched this, and first introduction to this fucking little psychopath, I was like, okay, there's going to be something at the end where it hints that he's going to be the next killer or something like that. And lo and behold, it happens.
There's a smile. The smile. You know what? You could win the world with a smile. They used to say that back in the day. Not so much anymore.
Yeah,
No.
they learned their lesson.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is a little slow in the middle. You know, like it takes a little while to build back up.
I mean, I understand. I'm a little short in the middle, so I get it. It's okay.
Yeah. At the same time, it packs enough shit in the beginning of it. And there is a couple killings. Like, this movie has the balls to kill a child, although it's off screen.
Yeah, right. Which we got robbed with that the jogger's death. We got robbed.
Yeah.
Let me step back in time. Shall I?
Mm-hmm.
Shall I? The Beyond. We got robbed with Martha's death. Absolutely fucking robbed. We got robbed in this one with the jogger. Absolutely fucking robbed. You know what? I want my money back.
Well, actually, I have to correct you, actually. I went back and looked at it. You must have a different version of The Beyond than what I had.
What happened to Martha? I want to know. My cock is erect. Let's go.
She got her head pushed back into a metal spike, and it popped her eyeball in.
I was saying, you know, remember when I watched it? Well, I don't know if you remember. If I said it should have went through it and popped her eyeball out, but it never did. You get teased with it. So I have a different version than you have.
You have a cut version, yeah.
I have a cut version of The Beyond. I'm throwing it away tonight. I'm throwing it away.
Yeah, I when I was going back through the editing of that episode, I was like, that doesn't sound right to me, because, I mean, I was too drunk to fucking even know what the fuck you were saying while we were recording it.
Well, I mean, I was only saying truth. I wasn't, saying lies. My version doesn't show that. It's just,
I was too drunk to pick up on that, but when I was doing the editing, I was like, wait a second, that's not the version I saw.
Well, that's good. I'm glad I said something, because now I have to seek out the good version.
Mm-hmm.
With no kanji. No kanji. Lack of kanji.
You got to get, like, the latest Grindhouse.
Oh, for God's sake, I mean, there's Japanese fucking writing on it. They'll push squids in women's vaginas and assholes and put that on film, but you won't watch a girl's eye pop out.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Even though there is an anime where the guy actually pushes the girl's eye out and fucks her, which is pretty fucking fantastic.
Yeah, well, they have they have a weird censor board in Japan.
Oh, like, I know.
Half the reason why their porn and all their stuff is so weird is because it's a workaround from, like, the weird rules that they have.
Well, I just want to do a virtual high five. High five. I think the same thing. Absolutely. If you guys weren't so censored because of the crazy stuff, you wouldn't be so nuts in your porn. I'm just saying. Like, yeah, thank you. I'm not the only one who thinks that. What are we talking about? Nightmare. Okay, back on the board.
Off-screen
back
deaths,
on the board train. Yeah, back on the board train.
Yeah, that hot jogger who you never see her death.
Yeah, she was pretty good looking. I was like, wow, totally tongued that asshole. Even jogging, like, nice and sweaty. Totally.
But yeah, you just see the aftermath, and then the kid finds the body, and then it's like, oh, the kid's gone too, off screen.
Yeah, I mean, like, what I watched that scene. He was backing up. And the guy was he coming up the stairs while he was backing up? Is that why
he was coming up? Yeah, he was coming up the stairs. You saw his shadow.
Yeah, I was gonna say I see the shadow, and I'm like, is that supposed to be the shadow of the kid backing up, or is that the guy coming up, and then the kid ends up dead? So I just kind of assumed.
Yeah,
there's a lot of assumptions in this film.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that was a really good shot, and it's kind of surprising that they didn't show those deaths, because I'm assuming it must have been a budget thing where they just couldn't do it with the special effects budget, because you have that first kill where he comes up behind that woman in the towel and just slits her throat, and it stabs her in the belly several times.
Yeah, because if you cut a woman's throat, all you see is black. Lots of black. If you keep cutting, it's all black in there. The women are the devil, basically, and they wear female suits. And if you cut their throats, all you see is red and black. So, try this at home, kids. Cut your mom's throats. Let's see what happens. I'll tell you what, you only see black.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm assuming that was special effects thing, and that would just lead me to talking about probably the biggest controversy with this film, by the way. We need to talk about the fact that Tom Savini's name is plastered all over this fucking film. and he claims he had nothing to do with it, basically.
No, well, the thing with Tom Savini in 1981, he was so all over the place, he could never have done this film.
He was on set.
Was he? I don't see a single Tom Savini thing in this film, and this guy has been in 1981. He was all over the place.
See, here's the thing. Director to this day swears that he was on there. There's definitely people in the movie who corroborate that he was there. But here's the thing. Savini was only on there in a sort of instructional role.
Was he like a guidance, like a visual guidance?
He was just there to help out, give a little direction and a few pointers, apparently. But there are photos of him actually being on set. But Savini to this day claims that the movie is a piece of shit and that he had nothing to do with any of the special effects. He was basically just there in an advisory role.
Okay, he might have not been hands on, but Savini is a dick, and the movie isn't a piece of shit. It's just it's not star quality film. I know, but you know what? I love John Russo. I want to suck John Russo's dick. I want to tell him that next time I see him. But the thing is, I love the Dark Craving that I have, which was another film. Was Bloodletting or something like that back in the day. Tom Savini was the star in that fucking film, literally, and that film's shit too comparatively. So how about you take your mouth and you fucking shut it? Because you know what I mean. Like the film you starred in is actually pretty much garbage of it. So you know what I mean. Like Tom, shut the fuck up.
His gauge for quality isn't exactly. It's not exactly outside of his Romero stuff. It's not exactly 100%.
Well, the other thing is most people that love Tom Savini don't even know fucking Dark Craving exists.
Right.
You know, I just know it because I'm a big Russo fan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing that got me, I don't know about you. As soon as the film started, going into it like I was the first time I watched it, it was like not knowing anything, and this was really cool. And I want to hear your idea of it. I don't know if you ever saw this film. It was called The Undertaker and His Pals.
I've heard of it. I've never watched it, though.
That's a really fun one, too. They kill this one bitch. I'm sorry about the negative term on women. Cunt. And then after they kill her, the funny thing is the next day, chicken breasts are on sale. It's like things like that just make you laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
But it has the same vibe. And as soon as he gets up, the first thing he does, he pulls off the covers and he sees this woman's mutilated corpse in the bed and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh fuck, I'm in for a ride. And that was my first assumption of this film as soon as I saw it, the beginning of the film. So what did you think about that?
Yeah, I liked it. It was striking because, and I like how they slowly hinted that something was wrong as well. Because as the camera panned down from his face a little bit down the bed, you saw that there was some blood on his knee. So you're like, okay, something weird's going on here. And then he pulls the sheet off, and he has no cut on his knee or anything. And then it immediately switches to the end of the bed with all the blood and the mutilated corpse and all that shit. And
however, when you look up back in his legs, they're completely clean.
Yeah, they're completely clean. But, I mean, it's a dream, so, who cares?
It's a dream, man. Okay,
yeah.
We're good.
So it works in that context.
I'm not going to lie. We've been drinking.
We have been, yeah. I mean, this was surprisingly good, though. I like the fact that it basically blatantly stole from Halloween. I mean, You got the terrorized babysitter, although it turns out much different than it did in Halloween. You got screaming children trying to raise...
They did a lot of that phone play. That when a stranger calls, phone play.
Yeah, and you got screaming children trying to alert the babysitter about danger. You got a killer wearing a mask. I like the mask, too. The mask is pretty cool. It's like this Abraham Lincoln type mask kind of thing.
It's something that you can't really identify. Yeah, it's very it's very different.
Yeah. I kind of dug the mother's weird Tommy Chong-like boyfriend who...
Oh, yeah. I was like, what is that all about?
A total out of left field aside. Like, he lives on a boat, and he's in... black briefs, and he's making out with her all of a sudden, and it's like, where did this fucking come from? What the fuck's going on? I'm surprised he didn't die in the movie. I was really surprised by that.
I'm not going to say anything about that right now. I'll move it on a little bit later, but you get to go back to the area of the psychology ward because apparently he was instituted.
Mm-hmm.
He was pilled. Mm-hmm. He was cured, and as Tobias completely fucked up, he was released.
Yeah. That's the thing that I was about to say. It's very much on that sort of anti-psychiatrist, anti-mental health care kind of the failure of the mental health care system in the early 80s kind of vibe. He's cured! And, of course, the guy who thinks he's cured is this, like, fucking crazy-ass dude he looks like he's a burnout hippie of some sort. And then, like, his colleague is like, what do you mean you let him out? What the fuck? He's obviously the guy who killed his dad and shit in the past.
And as soon as he takes another hit, he's right back at it.
Yeah. So
or like for instance, you have to understand the guy who released him, his name is Paul, and all Pauls are fuck ups because I'm a Paul. And then as soon as the guy sees pussy again, he fucks up because just like me, as soon as I get pussy in my face, I become a retard. I mean, that's just the way it is. I'm Paul, and I love pussy, so I'm a complete fuck up.
Stands to reason.
Yeah. You cannot fix this. It's unfixable. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah, but I mean, that works too. I mean, again, as much as it steals from Halloween, it's also kind of polar opposite in certain regards because you don't have like a Dr. Loomis here. You just have a bunch of fuck ups from the psychiatric ward.
Well, the weird thing about this film is you have Halloween that is going off after a specific topic. He seemed to happen upon a specific topic because he's trying to return to a certain place.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't really mean to do what he's doing, but he's just doing it because that's who he is. There's a couple of films like Alone in the Dark where Jack Palance, and stuff like that, they go after the doctor. They go after they focus on something. This guy has no focus whatsoever. And that's what people would bother, like kind of like City of the Living Dead. They would complain there's no focus. Well, there is none in this film. As far as I can see, it's wandering through, and whatever happens in his daily life, he could have a completely normal day.
Yeah.
And then the next day, something could happen, and that could just trigger it. It's more trigger. Yeah. That's the problem.
One point I had here, well, actually two different things. First off, I like how the innate cheapness of this movie sometimes shines through, where part of the score actually has theremin music in a small part, where it's like, it's like, where the fuck did that come from?
I think their music is awesome.
I love it too, but I was totally surprised. It like just caught me totally off guard because I did not expect to hear it in a 1980s slasher film.
Yeah. You're right. I was pissed off because why does this car sound like it's breaking down? It keeps driving. I'm like, and he just keeps on driving. I'm like, why are you still driving? Usually when you hear shit's going down, and they did that for like 5 miles. I'm like, and then finally the car broke down. I'm like, oh, okay, there you go. Thank you, because I was getting pissed. Thank you.
Yeah. The only other note I really have is I did get a kick out of near the end where the babysitter is taking care of the kids, and George finally gets to the house, and he's stalking them around the house. The babysitter's boyfriend shows up.
Oh, yeah, and then does the sneak attack.
Well, it's not even that. It's after they end up fucking. He seems like he's been stoned by her pussy, apparently. Because he's dumb as fuck. He's crawling on the floor like, oh, where's my pants, man? I need another joint.
I've been there. There's a one woman I was with right before I got married. She, like, sucked the life out of my dick. She did. Like, it was like, wow. What the? I don't know. I don't know what's happening. So
this apparently this guy had, at the very least before he died, he had like the fuck of his young life. Right
exactly. Like you're done. Just die. Just die on a high note. Maybe not struggle so much with the cord around your neck, but die on a high note. You know what I mean? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to mention, or do you just want to like go to your final
Tons of stuff
thoughts?
I want to mention.
Well, go ahead.
Jesus Christ. Query. I want to make a query.
Okay.
So was this like the first time in film that you actually see, besides like war games, that you get to see some like low budget talking to a computer?
I don't know if it's the first time. I'm pretty sure there's some stuff in the 70s that's comparable to this, but I do question why you would have 4 monitors set up and every one of them shows the face of the killer, and then you have that like one monitor in the middle with some text going up in it. I kind of question like why anyone would have that set up at all.
No one would ever have that set up.
No, that's a movie setup. That's just bullshit.
Because I started watching, I was like, are they talking to the police force? Is this the first time you actually get like internet chat? Like, what are you talking? Like, what are you? And like, it's so unrealistic. The whole thing, like, query, why would it be a murder? Because of this, and then why would this?
There would be no like database setup unless they were connected to like a military establishment of some sort.
And back then, the internet was not anything but military based, so they wouldn't even exist. Like, I don't understand that. And the other thing that pisses me off, and it's a moot point, I know, shut up, but it pisses me off. When you have percentages, it equals 100 fucking %. That's it. It equals 100. You don't. This motherfucker has 5 possible places he could be, and they add up to like 296%. You motherfuckers! I mean, I really understand that you want Dayton, Ohio, to be the place that, or fucking something, Florida, or whatever. Daytona, Florida, that you want to go. I get that, but don't make it 91%. Well, the other ones are like 58, 31, 27, 55. I'm like, what the fuck? I was gonna. Like, it equals percentages are supposed to equal 100 at the end. That's just the way it works. So you could have made 1, 2, 10, 5, 74. Oh, then there you go. It must be here, you know? It just pissed me off. That pissed me off. Look. You treated him. You believed in the pills. You rehabilitated him. Now he's on the streets. And he's killing people. And we can't have that.
Yeah, we can't have that. That would be a mistake.
So you find it, and you fix it. And I was like, you know what? Paul is not Dr. Loomis. Paul is a stupid, weak piece of shit that looks like Bob Ross.
Paul could probably barely work his bong when he gets off.
Exactly. I was like, I'm just trying to get high after I clock the fuck out. You are asking way too much from me, motherfucker.
He's got pottery class after work, and
this fucking Napoleon Dynamite fucking tall short motherfucker whose cigar is bigger than he is. He talks like this. We're gonna find it. We're gonna fix it. And you son of a bitch, if you want your job, we're gonna get it done. And I just want to punch him in the face. I was like, how did you act with this guy? I really want to hit him. And you know what, I could take Franklin all day. This motherfucker, I want to hit.
Yeah.
You know,
he doesn't have the personality or charm of Franklin. That's for sure.
And he's not in a wheelchair, at least.
Yeah,
you're standing on your own 2 feet. I'll punch you in the face.
Yeah, so I mean, you punch Franklin, you feel bad afterwards, but this guy, no.
I pummeled Franklin to a pulp, but I kind of feel bad. I'll take him to Chuck E. Cheese. This guy, I'm just gonna kick him to the street and leave for dead.
Sally, he punched me in the face, Sally.
Sally, get back and push down. Make me come after him. That's right. Oh, it's good times. Yep.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot, though. Like I said, how this kind of fits into the Maniac and Don't Go in the Host kind of mold. It's very much in that same sort of wheelhouse. I think it's probably lesser compared to those two. Out of all 3 of them, I think I like Don't Go in the Host the best.
Don't Go into the House is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
There's another one, too, that's really cool, and it's a different setup, please, God, please. But don't look in the basement. You have to watch that.
I think I've seen it.
It's really great. That's a fucking fantastic.
I know I own it. It's on a couple of my 50 movie packs. So.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a great film. To me, though, this film is really weird because it really and the desperate call to Paul from George.
Mm-hmm.
And the pills aren't working. They're too strong. It's too strong from the pills and this and this. You do feel he's a victim.
Yeah. Well, he's the system failed him. They let him out with their treating.
The system completely fucking failed the guy. He's not fucking why. He's calling me like, I'm sorry, this isn't working. And I'll tell you what, I don't know about taking scissors and putting. I mean, I kind of do putting scissors in the girl's abdomen, but I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Yeah.
But I know. Well, I'm just saying I don't know. But it's got to be easier than the way the film makes it look. Or harder rather than the film. Like he just go in and out and in and out.
It's like it's like he's cutting cake. I mean,
Yeah,
if you want to get specific in the details, stabbing a person and actually removing the thing you stabbed them with is actually incredibly difficult because of the suction.
Exactly. Yeah. And this guy's like, in and out. Okay, would you like a piece? Okay, I'll cut you. That's okay. You want some more? Okay, then we're good. You know what I mean? Like a big piece? Oh, cut a big piece. I was like, that's not really how it works, though.
Then they sort of allude to it being almost a sexual thing for him, where it's like he's penetrating her.
I really did enjoy the fact that he was like, I don't consider it eating the flesh. They were trying to say like it was eating the flesh.
Yeah, he's just sucking the blood.
He was sucking the blood. He was like sucking the blood off his finger because he remembers getting the blood of the hooker off his mouth when his dad was. And by the way, his dad was a kinky fucker and liked to get tied up and rode and all this stuff by some.
Oh, he liked getting slapped hard enough to have his nose bleed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And literally, you could just touch my nose and it'll start bleeding. So that's me right there.
He was in the rough. He was into some rough shit. That guy.
Yeah. And even though there's no whips or just her, he's a hand guy. Yeah. Sooner or later, like he'll be bent over and she'll be up to the fucking elbow. But we're not going to talk about that right now. But and he comes in and honestly, to this day, I watched this film a couple of times. The film does not, and maybe it's my own mentality, I do not get the vibe. See, there's two vibes you can get, right? Mm-hmm. Either that's really hot, I'm pissed off, that's not me, so I'm going to kill the bitch. Or, hey, that's my dad, get off him, that's not right, I'm going to kill the bitch. And I never get that's not right, get off my dad, I'm going to kill the bitch vibe from this film. I'm like, I do not get that vibe at all. I get that I'm angry, he's getting the pussy, I'll kill the bitch. That's all I get from this film. And they never really flesh stuff out. I mean, at the same time, they do make it kind of striking, though, at the end, where they keep shooting back to the killer's dead body down the bottom of the stairs and remembrances of him as a kid looking in the mirror. Some of that stuff's really, really good. But they never tie it all together in a really way. God damn it, Lee. Oh, see, the problem is when they don't use words, right? Because the whole scene is vague. Like, they don't use words. You have to get the idea from a facial expression or position or something that, oh my God, you're doing that. Like, the kid has to have some kind of facial expression before he starts whacking with an axe that, I'm mad you're doing that to my dad, or I'm mad because of this. And you don't get that. You get a stone face this, a stone face killer. A stone face.
It's not Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is very similar.
The thing is, a stone face killer happens because a very emotional person. A very emotional person becomes a stone face killer. It's not a stone faced person becomes a stone face killer. That doesn't, because a stone faced person would go, yeah, smack him again and walk out. He wouldn't give a fuck. It's emotional breakdown. So if you see this, you got to see a kid like being very confused, very upset, crying, not knowing what to do, and then walking away, seeing the axe, becoming stone-faced, walking away, and then killing the bitch.
Yeah.
This film does the absolute, completely fuck-up job of that. Because I just realized why I'm so fucked up. Wow, I just did this online. Okay, and we're not going to go there. We're not going there. We're going to keep on talking, but there you go. But it's like, there you go. Like, you have to understand. There's a thing that people have to do to get emotion through when you're not using words. Yeah. And this film doesn't do it correctly. But if you want to see a kid smack a hooker's head off with an axe, woo, there you go.
Yeah, and then plant the axe into his dad at the end, which is
because I love that. That actually is the best. Because you know what? Why did you make me do this? Fuck you. I'm going to do you too.
Yeah, that's a great money shot at the end, though. For hey, you set through the semi-boring middle part. We're going to go all out at the end and
all
give you
the fucking out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's like plain Jane axe in the face, and then Mount St. Helens at the end. It's like, whoa, Old Faithful just went.
Interesting bit here. Apparently, the director, he announced that he's in production of a sequel to this, apparently. Nightmare the Wandering Soul, 2018.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Just go quick to DVD info for this. Code Red released the 30th anniversary uncut, and then they released later on the 35th anniversary one in 2015.
That's what I have.
Yeah, and 88 Films also released the Blu-ray and DVD in 2015 as well. So there are a lot of options, and you can just watch this on YouTube. There's like a couple different copies on YouTube as well, and they're the uncut ones. So
are we going to delve closer to the end of the film now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, Georgie boy, hey Georgie, I got a balloon down here. He makes a call the first time. And if you look very, very, very closely to the film that only lasts for like a second, you'll notice he's looking through some kind of photo book.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever lived with a grandmother, you know what these fucking things are. It's more like a photo, like film book that she shows you all the time and talks about people you never knew and like acts like you should know them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those kind of things. And that is the only link that I can find to the end of the fucking film. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That's the only fucking link I can find. So please correct me if I'm wrong. That is the only link to this fucking film I can find. Because when the kid sees the son of a bitch taking out the garbage, he still didn't recognize the motherfucker. So it must have been really fucking long ago.
I think you're right on that. I think.
Yeah. Because that's it. That's all I got to build off of.
Yeah. And I mean, if the listener's confused, watch the film because it's actually worth watching, especially if you like this sort of stuff. I mean, if you like Maniac.
See, the thing is about these things that we do a lot because we enjoy them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to, even if we don't like a film, right? If we don't like a film, we don't want to discourage someone from watching it. We want to encourage people to watch these films and get their own assertions, the whole deal, the whole vibe of the film. And the thing is, if we're trying to be nice here, we don't want to spoil the whole thing, but we want you to watch it.
Yeah.
And then comment on our Facebook page.
Exactly. Yeah. What are your sort of final thoughts on this, though, Paul?
It's half-assed. It's okay. There's a roller coaster ride at the beginning, a really long country drive in the middle, and then a roller coaster ride at the end. But all, it's not that bad. I don't mind it. I really don't mind it.
I think it, like, again, comparing it to Maniac and Don't Go in the House, it's lesser of the three, but at the same time, it at least boasts the most graphic and violent.
Very, very graphic. And okay. Greg, are you listening? Girl plays with hairy pussy with vibrator on cam.
Greg, you might want this on your fucking
on your face.
On your movie watching queue, you might want to stick this one on, sir, because what it lacks in coherence and good storytelling, it makes up in spades with just violence and pussy and blood and that sort of thing. So
yes,
it's pretty good in that respect. Yeah,
I'm very glad the kid had to do more than 2 whacks to take the head off.
Yeah, that was good
because you know what, 1 whack would have made me angry. So I'm glad there was at least 2.
Yeah, the kid ain't Jason Voorhees. He's
come on now.
You got to work for it.
You got to work for it. You're not Paul Bunyan. You got to work for that shit, man.
Yeah. So, Paul, tell people where they can find you on the interweb.
You can find me on Facebook, PA Brew News, you know what it does, Permanent Midnight, the whole deal. YouTube, PA Brew News, Twitter, PA Brew News. Pretty much that's it. The paulrameli.com, and then Oil Paintings by P. Rameli on Facebook. That's all of it.
And, of course, you can find us at tmbdos.podbean.com, where you can find our iTunes, YouTube, and Facebook links. And, of course, join our Facebook group because that's the best way to get in touch with us and find out what's coming up on the podcast. We hope to have some more bonus material here, short little stuff like this in the sort of filtering out in the entire month with our main episodes. And I'm not sure exactly what's coming up. I have plans with my brother a commentary on Burial Ground, The Nights of Terror.
Oh, very good film.
Yeah, that should be fun. And I think I'm going to do another little intermission here that's going to show up sometime in the next week or so, just talking about a couple movies I watched in the last little while.
Maybe we're going to have a continuation of the Lovecraft stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put my little 2 cents in there. Motherfucker.
Well, we'll figure some shit out. So thank you, everyone, for listening, and thank you for joining me, Paul, and we'll be back when we're back.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to They Must Be Destroyed on Sight. For past episodes and links to our iTunes, YouTube, and Facebook group, please visit us at tmbdos.podbean.com. There you can also find links to other podcasts and websites of similar interest. If you subscribe to us on iTunes, please consider giving us a 5-star rating and a review. Please join our Facebook group, as it's the single best place to get in contact with the hosts and to know what's coming up on the podcast. Thank you. Drive through.